I'm gonna keep this video relatively quick. I know I say that, but it's people are talking about right now. It's about Wed's mask cracking because Urza's having a reaction. From what I understand, it's the wording on it. It seems more so trying to make it out like she's saying like, you know, people are trying to make it out like she's saying like you're like, you know, it's somebody I know, you're this person. But I think it's more of, you know, you're as in like you're, you know, she's claiming something about them. But from what I understand, the translation is supposed to be like you, like she's noticing something about them, similar to like what I was saying. Because I don't think it could be anybody that we've really seen before. I would be really surprised if it's a returning character. For people like I've seen people like use like Simon. I saw someone use like Rob, which I don't think makes any sense whatsoever. I'm just trying to think of other random characters you could think about putting there, because it's like even if you tried to argue some returner character Urza knows, why is this guy so big? Why is he a swords master? Why is he in Giltina? I personally don't think that it's gonna be that he is somebody that Urza knows. I think Urza is noticing again something that's very clear about him once the mask falls off. Like he's gonna be blind and he's gonna have horrific burns. Because I think it's gonna be one of those things where he is going to just tell you aspects about his character from a visual standpoint. Like, you know, the mask falls. This guy is a powerful swordsman, but he also can't see. But also he can't see, like, was he born this way? Oh no, look, he's got these horrific burns that go all over his face and clearly go over his eyes. Clearly he was blinded at some point in a battle or some form of incident. And then you ask yourself, it's like, okay, well, is this something that happened in swordsmanship? Was it an accident, or was this in a battle with, say, Ignia? There's a lot of things that you will be able to connect more so, rather than, I feel like, if it's just somebody that Urza knows and comes back, because I just don't know who realistically it could be. It's like people are trying to use characters that are just dead. So like Simon is dead. On top of that, like Rob, I saw people, someone use Rob is like dead and decades like decomposed. Unless you have like Simon when his body, well, in the Ethereon blast, dematerialized into magic, and I instantly reincarnated, and I remembered only one thing: your sword. And so I trained with your sword at like a accelerated speed. I'm also only what, like 10 years old, and I'm like actually a little boy. I've got Benjamin Button's disease. I don't think so. I don't know. The only physically shaped person that I could think of that would fit in this scenario, and again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but like the only thing that makes sense to me would be, this is the Earthland equivalent of the Earthland version, rather, because it's not the equivalent, it would be them, of Mimi. And instead of being like, oh, I wanted to train in physical prowess and like the spiritualism, trained in the art of the sword and became this giant sword wielding person, because there's a little bit you can kind of connect. Like, they're clearly both giants. You have not the same hair color but similar-ish hair. You have both characters who like want to go at their opponent, but they have their like a degree of respect for their opponent as they're fighting them. And I think that would be interesting, but I personally don't want this to be a completely new character untied to anybody else. If it's Earthland Mimi, I'm fine with that. Apparently Wed is the Earthland Mimi name, if in that scenario. But otherwise, it'd just be a character that we have no idea of, in terms of like some completely just new guy. And it gives us just a visual that says, okay, well, there's a story to tell here. This is a character that we're going to be getting more so later, and we'll see, because it'll be, oh my, could you imagine like a blind, burnt, scar-faced dragon swordsman? Ooh, he's gonna look so cool. I'm still hoping that they further progress dragon forms. I don't know why they wouldn't at some point. They're just going to be in those humanoid forms, so they're like, we just want to be hybrids essentially. I don't think so. I want to see some full humanoid forms. We'll see whenever Brian comes back. But Wed right now, I just don't really like the idea of it being somebody that we already know. Because if it's like one, it's like somebody that big, is it gonna, like, how is it not gonna be somebody obvious or something really goofy? If it's somebody that is like that is close to Urza, like who could it possibly be? Like I don't think so. I'm gonna stick personally and just gonna go with the idea of it's somebody that is horrifically damaged physically, and they wear the mask for the sake of like not having to deal with like people looking at them or something like that. But anyway, we'll see exactly what's going on with WED. I just wanted to make a short video on that, kind of talk about that, but we'll see exactly where, you know, what, oh god, it's gonna be like pretty, yeah, it is 2 weeks. It's barely under 2 weeks, like 13 days. Is what it is. We'll see it as it comes in. But anyway, other than that, bye.